Hey folks, and welcome back to Shaggy's Car Shop. On tonight's episode, we're going to be cutting holes in my brand new hood. Now you can see I installed my hood. I did not film this. I had my neighbor come over because it was too precarious for me to try and put it on by myself and run some bolts in. I actually have my little child out here that ran some bolts in for me and just got them started. But on this episode, we're going to be cutting holes, brand new sheet metal. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Without any further ado, let's get to it. Alright folks, so this is my brand new 400 hood. I got it up on my panel stands, and I want to put a hood tack on this car. So it should have came with instructions, but it didn't. The only thing I can figure is you want to center your hood tack right in here on this side. Again, this is flipped up on its upside down, I guess. So this is your driver's side, that's your passenger side. So the best way to find the center of this that I can figure is you take a roll of tape, just like that, because tape is your cheapest option. So you find a roll of tape and you start pulling some off. I'd rather waste some tape than mess up a brand new hood. Sure you don't pull too much off. It's a little loose in there, so I'm going to just wrap it a couple more times with this tape so it's nice and snug. Alright, so like that, doesn't wiggle at all. So now you're going to take a pen, permanent marker, whatever you got, just to draw your circle. Alright, let me go find that. Alright, since this is a triangle from this piece, you know you're exactly centered. So I'm going to take my permanent marker. Alright, now that you got your circle, now you got to find center of it. Let me go grab my tape measure and we will find the center of this circle. And now is what you want to do. Get a little bit better tape here. Go from the outside of your circle, one side to the other. I happen to know that I measured it, that roll of tape on the inside is 3 inches. So I'm right at 3 inches there. Put my dot. Okay. And you come back, you measure again. Alright. And another one for good measure. I'd rather measure too many times and not need to and cut in the wrong spot. Alright, so we got that center of that circle. Alright, let me go grab my drill and a drill bit. We're just going to use a small drill bit, and then we'll come back with a hole saw. Alright, hang on. Alright. I don't know how well you can see that with the glare. There's my circle, and right there is my center point. This is what I'm gonna do. Just lightly center punch that spot. Don't want to beat the crap out of it. Just enough so I can take a... So now that I have it center punched, I just did it lightly, just enough to where I can take a small drill bit very carefully go through. Alright, let me bring you back once I get my hole saw. Alright folks, so here's my hole that I drilled from the other side. That is centered in that patch. Now, from things I've seen and read, the instructions that are supposed to come with these hood tacks are not that great anyway. Best thing I could find was they said find the center of that triangle. I learned that trick. You get a triangle, you throw something round in there like a roll of tape. If you got to get a bigger one or whatnot to fit in there, you pull it off till it fits perfectly. That will find the center of it. Now, what else I'm using? This is a 3 5/8 inch or 92 millimeter hole saw. So if your car is painted, mine is just EDP coated, you want to go real slow. Make sure you oil everything up and tape on this side, and then you gotta go real slow. You don't want to heat it up or else you'll bubble your paint. Mine coincidentally is just EDP coated, but I'm still gonna go slow. So you want to get in that pilot hole and then get as square as possible. Make sure I'm not going to hit my Let me go grab just a couple of drops of oil, set on there. Help lubricate that up. All I'm using for that is my air tool oil. Alright. Whew. Alright. Let's slow that down. Alright, let me swap back to my battery drill, because I got it part of the way through. But this, folks, if you got a painted car, I would definitely stick with a battery operated drill. It's a lot easier to control the speed. Whew. Alright, folks, so now for your next step. So what I have here is a plain piece of paper. Alright, and all you want to do is make sure it is square, nice and even, with the edge of your hood. Okay, I have mine. Doesn't matter if it's 1 inch, depending on the size of your paper. This is a standard 8.5 by 11. But I have mine, what was that? 2 1/4 inches. So it is square with the line of the hood. Okay? And I'm going to take a piece of tape, tape that side, take a piece of tape, tape that side, and I'm going to remeasure 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Alright, so now you find your hole here, and you just run your finger right around it like that. Okay? So you're making an outline of that hole. Don't need a marker, nothing like that. Okay? I mean, if everything in your garage is nice and dirty like mine, then it's pretty easy. Now, one last thing. Let me find my marker. Alright, so one last thing. Write down your measurement, so that way, after you pull this off, cut this out, and use it for a template on your hood tack, you know exactly how far it was off of this. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out this circle, and then I got to go grab my hood tack, and we'll line this up on my hood tack, make sure it's square, and punch the bolts through it, and then we'll actually use this piece of paper as our template. And again, that hole is in the center of the structure of the hood, so you're not going to hit anything. And then as long as you are squared up along the edge, same distance, you know your hood tack will be straight. Alright, I'll bring you back here after I get this cut out when I got my hood tack. Alright folks, now that I have my hole cut in my hood and I have my template, remember I just pressed around and then I cut this hole out. So what I did is, you can see those two holes right there and right there, is I fit it right over on my hood tack. So your center hole will go around that, and then I punch these two through the paper. So the reason you want to do that is so you can line this back up with your hole right where it was. Alright, let me get that little tag of paper out of there. Line this back up with your hole. And now, again, I measured right along this edge. Now it's an arbitrary measurement because if my paper would have been slid up this way or down this way, all you're trying to do is make sure you have it square with your hood. So I'm going to eyeball it pretty close. Tape that side down. And I'm going to measure. So I'm at 2 inches there. And this should be just shy. So to get to that 2 1/4 inches I wanted, all you're doing is spinning that. Okay? Now this isn't a perfect measurement either, but it will get you close. There we go. Just a smidge. Oop. And I went moving it. Just like that. Now let me grab another piece of tape quick, so I can get this side down, just like so. Now, before I punch these holes, I'm just going to set this on here in those holes. And I'm going to hop in my car and see if that's generally the look I'm going for, because now's the time to adjust it. Alright, and then all I'm going to do is just kind of rock this on here and hopefully make a little divot. I'm not pushing too hard. Just make a little divot in this EDP coating. So I know where my holes are. Alright, done with that. And you can see, well, maybe you guys can't see, but I can see right there and right there. So what I'm going to do is go find my center punch and my drill bit, and I'll bring you right back. Alright folks, so what I'm going to do is just center punch ever so slightly the hole where I want these. Don't really need much, and you don't want to hit it super duper hard either, and you end up bending your hood. All right. So next thing, I have a 13/64 drill bit. Actually, I'm going to trade out. I'm going to go get a smaller one and start a pilot hole and then use my 13/64s. Alright, so I'm starting with a 3/32 just to get in there good. Alright, now I'm drilling real nice and slow. Now I'm going to jump over to my 13/64s. Now that is, they didn't come with any nuts to go on these. I just held the drill bit up there. That's pretty close to the same size as the bolts that come out of the bottom of this. But I'd rather go a little smaller and have it tight and have to drill it out a hair bigger than vice versa and have it sloppy in there. So, as you guys can see, I hit the inner structure on the inside on that one. This one, there's no inner structure on it, so I should just be able to drop right through. Alright, let's do our first test fit. Alright folks, there you have it, one hood tack installed. Alright folks, that's it for tonight's video. Thanks for joining me and watching while I installed a hood tack on my 69 Firebird and on this 400 hood. This technique should work on any of your regular old 350 hoods, like the old hood that came off of this, as long as you line it up with that structure like I did. It would have been interesting to see if this product would have came with instructions, just to see how close I was with the hole, or see where they were telling me to do or punch the hole through the hood to see how it'd line up with my inner structure of my hood. But alright folks, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.